My name is Jennifer Huppert. I'm the President of the Jewish Community Council of Victoria, and I'm standing here with Amit Keskin, the Executive Director of the Australian Intercultural Society, and we are your hosts for this, the fourth Not So Holy Comedy debate. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Boonwurrung and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and paid my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and any elders who may be here with us this evening. I'd also like to acknowledge our special guest councillor Susan Riley from the City of Melbourne, and the City of Melbourne have kindly sponsored this evening's event. Also, I'd like to thank our other sponsor, the State Government of Victoria, and also welcome Commissioner Andrew Crisp, the Emergency Services Commissioner. And thank you all, community leaders, guests, for joining us this evening at what I think will be an entertaining event. As I mentioned before, this is the fourth comedy debate and the second that we've co-hosted with the Australian Intercultural Society. The partnership between the JCCV and the AIS has been really very productive. Not only have we partnered together in this event, but over the last 12 months we've joined with Benevolence Australia and the Australasian Union of Jewish Students to present active bystander training aimed at helping people to deal with incidences of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia when they come across it in their daily lives. And they've been and it's a really exciting partnership, and I know that our two organisations are looking forward to working together in the future. So without further ado, I know you're all waiting to hear our guests for the speakers for this evening, so I'll pass you on to Amit, who will continue with the introductions.
Thank you, Jennifer. On behalf of the Australian Intercultural Society, I too am pleased to be involved in this program, and thanks to the JCCV for getting us on board. And like you said, this is our second year being involved in this program. It's always good to do something slightly different, and obviously a comedy debate is one great way of being able to look at our lives and look at it from a funny side, and we're looking forward to hearing our panellists. We've got some regular faces from last year. You'll see Justine Sless, Michael Schaefer and Jacob Sacher here. But we've also got some new talent with us. So we've got Annie Louis, Sam Gabrielesi and Jimmy Yildiz, who will be formally introduced shortly by Father Bob. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for joining us this year, and hopefully looking forward to this evening's program. Just left for me to basically introduce our staff for tonight without taking much away from our panellists as well. But Father Bob Maguire, oh my God. He looks younger than last year. I'll just say a few more words before I invite you to the podium. He is, even though he may be outnumbered, he's a Catholic priest. I mean, we've got an audience of Jewish and Muslim contingent, but obviously some others as well. But that won't deter him, because I know that he will be able to put his spin on the evening's program. As you know, he's been involved in community activism apart from the religious sermon aspect that is done, but the community activism part is one that we definitely admire, applaud, and we look up to, and even at this very young age, he's still powering ahead. So it's a great testament to his energy that he has, and I, for one, take great inspiration from him. He's one of Australia's leading social activists in the work of humanity. So thank you very much for the work that you do, and thank you for being our moderator tonight. Father Bob.
But this could go pear-shaped at any time. You know that? So I said to myself today, look, that funny thing that I've heard, they said, don't go there, don't tell them that at all, because it's their show, not yours. And I can't help myself. We're at Mount Sinai. Have you heard this? Is it appropriate? Because we're all desert people, aren't we? Yeah. Muslims and we're all at the foot of Mount Sinai. And whoever it was got the 10 Commandments, right? No names, no names. And then as they left with the 10 Commandments, the voice came and said, hey, come back. And back they trotted, and there was a scrap of paper on the ground. And he said, read what's on the paper. So they had their 10 Commandments, and they picked up the piece of paper and read it, and it said, none of those will work without these two: compassion and common sense. So I thought, I like that. Hey? Hey! Come back. Because the others grabbed the thing and they ran off and they said, we've got them, we've got them. You know what I mean? Everybody running around saying, we've got them. That's why we've called this meeting. Because we're trying to work out the what do you call it? The code, the formula for Melbourne/Australia is care, communication, concern, common sense and compassion. If you've got the 5, you can have community. If you leave one of them out, you've got society. No community. Society is a bunch of people chasing the edge for themselves. A community is a bunch of people chasing the edge to share with everybody else. Eh? What do you reckon? I reckon. And that's why I'm so pleased tonight. I'm old, so I mean, forgive my... And I'm also, what's that word? Garrulous. Sorry about that. But I got that off me mind. And tonight, you see, terribly important, this assembly. Terribly important. Because it's one step at a time, you know. Don't curse the darkness, light a candle. Isn't it? And then everything's going to be all right. In fact, I heard myself singing today. I'm a bit old. But I was singing, and what was I singing today? Everything is beautiful in its own way. I thought, you've just read the bloody newspapers. We're all going down to hell in a handbasket. And I said, no, we're not. No, we're not. All we've got to do is work together. Huh? Work together. The City of Melbourne, famous for working together. You see what I mean? And with you, through you, with respect, she can do it, the City of Melbourne. I was reading a book on the City of Melbourne. What did it say? Some very important details about the origins of the City of Melbourne, you know. What? Most injuries caused to women's feet was due to walking over smashed champagne bottles. What the... Historical fact, apparently. Wounded by walking over broken champagne bottles which the dandies had taken with them from their drinking exploits at the clubs. Hoo-hoo. See? Oh, yeah. The clubs. And that they staggered with their bottles of champagne and sucked away at the life-giving juice and then threw them in the bloody street. And the poor old girls were out in their newfound, because we're only a little bit old then, their newfound shoes, and then cut the most frequent injury, apparently. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure. I can't do this because I can't see. Well, I mean, I can barely think, you know what I mean? Is laughter the best medicine? Well, the answer, of course, is yes. You see, and I think... But it depends what kind of laughter you mean, because there's qualities to laughter. There's what he called texture. You see? Ha 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 ha! Hello. It's like that, our famous word from the Aussie language, you old bastard. Do you remember that one? Now, when the Americans came here after they've saved Australia from the Japanese, hello, they said to themselves, what do you just call me an old bastard? And the Aussies said, well, it's a term of endearment. They said, what do you mean? That's a nasty word. They said, no, it depends how you say it. G'day, you old bastard. Hey? You old bastard. Huh? Glad to see you again. You old bastard. It's the texture. And that's why we're here tonight, to try to work out how we can develop beautiful language, which is not only in the words, of course, but it's also in the gestures. So I can't see that. Can you see that? That we've got the affirmative team is Michael. The negative team, speaker next after Michael is Justine, am I right? And then we go to, I can see it, I can see it, I can see it. Can I see it? Sam. And then we go to number 4, CEMIL. You old bastard, you know. Sorry, 1934 model. Come on. Sorry about that. And number 5, if I go blind first, Annie. Louis. And 6, if I can stare at it, is Jacob. I'd say Saka. No, not Saka, but I mean, I'm saying, will that be all right? Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic is laughter the best medicine? And tonight is a very important step towards reconciliation, restorative justice in the city of Melbourne, and it's all going to be, the trigger will be, in fact, laughter. I was woken up to this too, by the way, by John Safran. You see, after 10 years, was it 10 years, I think, on Triple J, but in the beginning, I think we were in Sydney selling the show or something, and he said, by the way, Bob, we're here, this show will, we're out to offend everybody. I said, what the? We're out to offend everybody. He said, yeah, we can't just offend some, we've got to offend everybody. Got to be even-handed, you see. I said, oh, well, it doesn't make that much sense to me. But however, I learned a lot from Safran. About the language. About the language and how the language itself, and I had to teach him a bit about facial gestures because he was a bit thin, a bit frozen. He loved the language, the words, but the face. So we learned a bit, because I've got more face. Not the other one. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you, will you do this? Come on. Do those dots move?